think first of all, it's important to state that it was amicable and it followed an in-person conversation at Old Trafford between Sir Alex Ferguson and Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Now, this is a wider part of a cost-cutting exercise by Manchester United. And Sir Alex Ferguson, he will still remain as a non-executive director at the club. He'll still be in attendance at matches. But the change comes where those ambassadorial duties, which started in 2013, they will finalize at the end of the season. And it used to cost the club a reported £3 million. So when you look at the scale of what Ineos are trying to do in terms of limit the losses Manchester United are making, that fee is in relation to that. They feel that they're saving. Now, this is a very emotive topic given the legendary status of Sir Alex, but I think it's hugely important to remember that this doesn't detract from his legacy at all. It doesn't take away from any of his achievements. United are the behemoth they are because of what he did and what he built. And removing him from that position or not paying him that money anymore doesn't change anything that he's achieved, and it doesn't affect that legacy. I think it's also very important for us to be sensitive to the staff at the club who have lost their jobs due to this cost-cutting exercise, who have actually needed the money and required that security of employment. And I think even Sir Alex would feel uncomfortable if there was a big fuss made about him losing, that financial earnings when so many ordinary people have gone through it.
I hear you. Look, after the international break, focus is obviously switching towards the return of the Premier League then. Where do United stand right now on the manager situation?
It is pretty much as I reported on Sky Sports News last week, Tuesday, which is that Erik ten Hag always expected to return to work during this international break and remain in position as Manchester United manager. The noises from the club were no different, and I had reported that while that executive committee was convening in London. Now, naturally, given the fact that United have suffered their worst start to a Premier League season, they're winless across 5 competitions, they're struggling to score, the timing of that meeting during an international break was always going to lead to speculation. But Ten Hag received public and private backing from sporting director Dan Ashworth and the CEO Omar Barada. And because he's got an open, transparent line of communication with the leadership team now, he would have heard any different if his position was in jeopardy, if there was any decision to be made on that. But he was very calm. He actually used his days off to return to the Netherlands, spend some time with his family. He was back at Carrington yesterday to prepare for Brentford. United have been very keen to be patient and offer Ten Hag time and support. And having made that decision to stick with him following that season review at the end of the summer, it would be weird for them to then pull the plug at the first sign of turbulence. It's still so early in the season. There's not many viable options out there, and they have wanted to stick by him for as long as possible. Now, part of the stuff I referenced last Tuesday is that they've looked at the underlying numbers and they've seen the biggest problem for United is in front of goal. They're severely underperforming their expected goals metric. With time, that naturally remedies itself. When they look at the defensive numbers, they've improved in that regard. They've conceded as many as Manchester City and Chelsea. So I think with a little bit of patience, time, they're hoping that things resolve. Their initial thought in the summer was to at least give Ten Hag a full season under this new setup. Now, ultimately, the manager himself knows that will depend on performances and results. So he is hoping that following the end to this international break, that United can now hit an upward curve.